Welcome to Becoming Full of Yourself, the show where fulfillment is not a finish line, it's a way of being. I'm Ebonie Allard, master coach, energy specialist, soul contract guide, here to help you remember who you were before the world told you who to be. In each episode, we explore what it means to lead from the inside out, embody your truth, and become so full of yourself that you overflow. Let's get into it. Rachel.
Hello. We're here. Hey, I love it. And we've had such a great chat beforehand. It was like, right, we have to press the button because this is gold.
We have to start recording at some point.
There are some things that everyone just have to know that we talk about privately.
Yep.
For those who have not met you yet, do you want to give us a little intro? And then if you're watching or listening, go and look at the show notes for the full proper thing.
Definitely. Hello, everyone. I'm Rachel Sarr. I run a business called Cosmic Queen, where I help people to use cosmic cutting edge in their life, business, and relationships. So it's all about using astrology, human design, bit of numerology, bit of tarot, bit of all the things, but to really understand your own genius so that you can be intentional about the way that you use it, about the way that you show up in your life. A lot of what I do, you know, it's always funny when people ask you, like, what do you do? You put it into words, but a lot of what I do, I would say, is identity and confidence work, because I truly believe that, you know, when you know yourself, that's when you can actually start to accept and love yourself. And only then can you really be yourself. I think it's so, people try to oversimplify it and say, oh, just be yourself. Just be authentic. You know, like the authenticity thing is so big right now. But I think it's a process, and it's a process of really learning about yourself, and the tools that I found at some of my lowest points in my life, you know, to really start to understand, like, who am I? What do I want? Were the cosmic tools. And so I'm just so passionate about sharing those with others. You may hear from my accent, I am American. So I'm from California originally, but currently, and for the past almost 18 years now, I'm living in London in the UK. I love it so much. I love working for myself. I've been working for myself for about 5.5 now. And before that, I worked in tech. I was a management consultant. But yeah, so much happier now, so much more fulfilled, and just want to help other people find that same joy for themselves.
Well, you and I speak so much of the same language. And actually,
Yes.
before we pressed the button, we were looking at those things, right? Those really beautiful little overlaps. Like you're a 2.5, I'm a 5.2.
Yes, which is so rare to meet someone with that harmonic profile. Like, I've only met a handful of people. Have you met other 2.5s or
So
5.2?
many. I literally coach 2.5s, 2.4s, and
Wow.
that's about it at the moment.
That's amazing. Oh, that's so cool. I've only met like maybe 2 other 2.5s. And whenever we do, it's like we just get each other immediately. And 5.2, I have one of my clients is a 5.2 as well. I feel like we get it. Like, we understand, especially the 5th line, I think really is a point where you can say, you understand, like, the pull to be seen, to share on a broad scale, but also this worry and this fear of being perceived and misunderstood. Like, I feel like there's a lot of that.
You know what? I used to have a lot of 5.1s.
Oh, yeah.
That was that conversation. And now,
Definitely.
So I used to have a lot of 5.1s and 6.2s.
Oh, wow.
And now it's mostly, I have a lot of 4 lines. So actually, I have a lot of 4.6s.
Wow.
And 1.4s and 4.1s. But then it's all that. And those are, a lot of those are projectors as well, because of that double projection field.
Yes.
For a long time, I had more reflectors than anyone else I've ever met because of that, my reflector mind, right?
Yes.
Pulling that in. And it's really interesting. So for me, when I think about it, it's like the more we embody our design, or the more we honor our soul contract, the more our electromagnetic field magnetizes like to like, and brings us those people so that we can stay strong in our signature frequency rather than homogenizing or feeling like we have to blend in order to belong.
Yes, I think that's so true. And I think, you know, when I look at people that I want to collaborate with or work with, a lot of what I'm looking for is also like, connection and synergy, and like we're kind of on the same page about certain things. But it's interesting, like, just looking at the astrology of like attracting clients. Like I go, it's really interesting. When I first started, I was having all like Virgo, lots of people with very strong Virgo placements, not necessarily the sun, but like Virgo midheaven. And I have so many, shout out to anyone who's listening, so many amazing Virgo midheaven people in my world. And then it's also Scorpio and Virgo. And it makes sense because like in my chart, like that part that my descendant is Virgo, and then I have a lot of Scorpio energy. So yeah, I think when you meet people, it's like we're experiencing different parts of their chart. We're really connecting to different parts, and we can see some of ourselves in them, or we just speak the same language. And it's really beautiful to understand
100%.
that.
And my descendants in Gemini, my midheavens in Virgo, right? So I have that kind of very similar kind of thing where, and as a hermity 5-2, as a heavy 5-2, that's why, like, I still need the kind of chattiness and the stimulation of Gemini energy and the like thoughtful philosophy of those seekers with that Sag energy. And the 4-line piece is like, could you just bring your networks in for me? Because go anywhere.
Yeah, too many. That's so funny. I have a Gemini moon. So yeah, I love that Gemini energy. A lot of my clients have Gemini moon too. Like we can just talk. Great.
I love these little things. And actually, one of the things we were talking about beforehand was about this shift into, or lots of people are talking about it now, right? Like as 2027 gets closer and still a lot of people don't really know what that means. And it doesn't matter. And we've had so many, if you've been alive as long as us, we've had Mayan stuff. We've had the year 2000. We've had all of these, the world is changing.
Yeah, duh.
So to some extent, it's like, whatever. But then also you can't deny that since, we're in a, as this goes where we're in a 1 year now, right? And the last 9-year cycle, the world has changed so
much. Yeah, absolutely.
And we were talking about this shift of Pluto into gate 41. And given that the sun is also in gate 41 now, as this is going out, I thought it would be interesting really for us to continue that conversation of like, what does this mean on a practical, tangible level for those people who often hear the numbers and go, I can't, like, it's too detaily, it's too numbery, I'm never going to remember that. Like, what does it actually mean? What will I be experiencing in my life and in my business,
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I'm so excited and just fascinated by what's happening in culture, in collective unconscious and the collective consciousness. It's really interesting to see. I'm someone who I mentioned earlier is like chronically online. I'm very much on TikTok. I'm very much, kind of wanting to understand what's going on with people, what people are into, what they're not into. Values are changing, perspectives are changing. It's just really interesting. Having Pluto move into gate 41 is just so significant for people who are newer to kind of looking at the cycles of human design and astrology. This hasn't happened since 1776, 1777. So it's this 248-year cycle of Pluto moving through all the signs, and having it move into gate 41, the gate, and there's different names for gate 41 depending on like what, or are you in the gene keys, are you in human design, whatever. I've heard it called like the gate of contraction, the gate of fantasy. It's about envisioning what's to come. Is really exciting because that's the beginning of the human design year is gate 41. So it's like that in the root center, starting out, fueling up, getting ready to birth something new through that contraction of like here we go. And I feel that Aquarius is bringing us some interesting contemplations right now. I think there's this conversation which people are starting to have about the importance of community, but also the importance of celebrating and recognizing the individual. And I think there's only one sign in the zodiac that really looks at both, and that is Aquarius. And it's like really interested in like, how do I, the water bearer, like how do I bring knowledge and support to the people? How do we innovate for the future? But then it's also very, I think I would say Aquarius is highly individualistic as well. It's also recognizing the uniqueness of the person. It's like connected to the archetype of the muse I often think of, and the scientist and the innovator. So right now there's a push with social media for everyone to like think the same, look the same, like the same things. But at the same time, there's a big push back against that as well. And people are like, wait, what happened? Why does everyone have the same face now with like plastic surgery and stuff? Why is everyone listening to the same music? Like music is not innovating in the West, and like what's going on with that? Why are there no, I heard a statistic yesterday that like only 25 scripts were actually purchased last year in Hollywood. And that's like that's incredibly low number. Normally like it's like over 1,000 or something that have been pitched and only 25 purchased. Like where's the creativity gone, right? Where's the risk taking? And I think Pluto and Aquarius is helping us, I hope, or will help us to bring that back and to start to like look more at creativity, community, individuality again.
I, as somebody who has their South Node in Aquarius, North Node,
Yes.
and a Leo sun, and my entire family is made up of Leos and Aquarians.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then the other side is Geminis. So we have the axis in my family. It's like the axis of perception and the axis of individuality, right?
Yes.
So it's that whole thing of when I grew up, individuality was perceived as a misfit or an underdog or an outlaw or right. So in 1980 when I was born, no one was called Ebonie, and they called me Emily and didn't understand why I didn't answer. And now everyone's, and when I was younger, the thing I heard most often is that your real name?
Ah, right.
And now like everyone's got an unusual name, but that wasn't the case. And now everyone's talking astrology or human design, or right. And when I was a kid, I was like would roll my eyes and like try and shrink every time my family, my parents were talking about it, because we were so ahead of our time in that kind of way. And so it's really, really interesting to see the world shift into this place of beginning to recognize the currency of creativity.
Yeah.
You know, I very often think that I grew up in a house that didn't have money and didn't have resource, and I kind of opted out of playing in the system in that way, in some ways. But what we were rich in, what the resource that was cultivated in us was creativity.
Wow.
You know, what else could you do? It was never like, there's never just one way to do something. There's always multiple ways to do it. And, you know, I, as a younger person, I remember in my early teens laying the table, and it was the beginning of for the family for dinner, and I was like, what are 3 ways I could get the table laid? I could get my brother to do it. I could bribe him to do it. I could he and I could do it together. I could just do it myself. And there were like all of these little things, and it started to become a practice for me. And
I
when
love that.
people say to me, oh, you're so creative, you're just pouring with creativity. I've got divine sacral, and you know, I have the 659.
Yes.
And it's my one. I only have 2 channels, so that's a really big part of it. But also, it was very much cultivated within me, this idea. And for me, the Leo and Aquarius thing, they do really work together, because for me, Aquarius can be so interested in changing the collective, that it forgets about the individual. It can be so interested in changing the lives of children on the other side of the planet that it forgets to ask how its child was today. And that's a massive generalization, and I'm not saying it's true.
I think there is this dichotomy. I always talk about this like Aquarian paradox. I feel like Aquarius has a lot of paradoxical aspects of it. Like it like you said, it's like really concerned with helping other people. But I also think when you look at, say, like Aquarius moon, for example, like there's this deep need to be recognized for being unique as well.
Absolutely.
So,
and that then comes into the piece of Leo, right? Like Leo is given, I mean, I'm aware of that, but Leo is given a bad rap for wanting attention, for hogging. Actually, most of the Leos I know, that is not true at all. They really love to shine the spotlight on others, and they pull specialness out of people, and they recognize
great cheerleaders.
Absolutely. And people always say to me, you know, oh, Leos are so competitive. I'm like, no, nearly all of my best friends are Leos, and walkers are pride. right? Like
Yes.
I have never met people who big each other up as much as Leos do.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Yeah,
And
I
I
agree.
think this axis is here for us to play with, right? We're moving into collaboration over competition. We're moving
Yes.
into a spark of co-creation, but true co-creation, where like you don't know what's coming when two of you get together, and neither of you get to have ownership of that because the collective gets to own the outcome. You know, I think that's where we're moving to. And there's one more bit I wanted to say. So on my cards, I call the Gate 41. I think it's going to blur it, so I'll put it in the story.
Oh, I love it. Are these yours?
These are mine. These are the Kismet Code cards. There's 64 of them. They
Oh
come
my
with
God.
their own book, which
That's
is
amazing.
so much smaller than the Jinkies book. I love Richard's book, but this is very great for your handbag.
Yeah.
And then it means you can just pull it out all the time.
Oh, this
And
is
Gate
amazing.
41, I call the future fueler.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Single one of them has a affirmation on it, and this one says, "I dare to dream of new horizons and know when to take the leap."
Yes.
And for me,
That's it.
this time, this shift that we're in is about taking the leap into those dreams that you had, those fantasies that you had as a kid. Because Leo's also children, right? It's playfulness, it's
Yes.
creativity. And most of us had this, like, when I grow up, I'm going to be. And then life got in the way. And for me, this is a time of like, if you were ever going to do it, now is the time to jump.
Absolutely. Oh, I 100% agree with you that this time of year that we're, releasing this episode, but also just it being 2026, the 1 year, like you mentioned earlier, the beginning of the next 9 year cycle. If there is ever a time, it is now. And that's, and I think that's true no matter even when you're listening to this, because I love that. I don't know who said that famous saying that's like the best time to do it was yesterday. The second best time is today. So let's do it.
100%. And actually, I want to come back to your skill set, actually, in some way, right? Now, something you said earlier was just be yourself is really unhelpful, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like, how? Where?
Okay.
Why?
My sign off has been ever since I published my first book 11 years ago. And someone said, "Will you sign it for me?" And I was like, yeah. And they gave it to me. And I had a pen and I was like,
yeah, right?
Something clever. It is something clever. And so I wrote, "Stay wild, stay true, be more you." And
so good.
I
need the merch. Drop the merch. Okay.
I have wild and true. These are my values, right? Like it is about, to me, wild is about being uninhibited. It's about letting go. It's about deconditioning, right? Like coming back to this unfiltered wild plant, the weeds inside you. There are this kind of very masculine idea that we must pick the weeds and get rid of them. I'm like, sometimes the weeds are the most beautiful part.
Yes. And they're hardy and they survive everything.
So, one of the reasons I work with these modalities is to affirm your true nature, right? Like as not just an undefined, but an open G center. I have also struggled with yes, but what does that mean?
Yes.
I can be anyone. Like I literally can be anyone. I can live anywhere. I will wear and sound like the people I'm around. So what does it mean to become full of yourself? And for me, it means embracing my design, understanding my profile, allowing myself to hermit more, knowing that sometimes I'm really chatty. These frameworks have given me that way into affirming my true nature. And I'm curious, from your perspective, if somebody like hears it's a time for individuation, like act on your dreams, be the you you always wanted to be, and they're like, I don't know who that is. What's your way into that for them?
Ooh, I love that. That's such a big question. What is the way? Yeah, because every person is going to have their own individual way in. And when I have a conversation with someone, it's call and response, give and take. And so everyone is going to have their own kind of like path. But I will say that, what I look at first in someone's chart is often the rising sign in their astrology and the aura type or the energy type in their human design. And then I look at their profile numbers. Those are like really big kind of titles. Like these are the headlines of your design, I feel. Those are the things I tend to look at first, especially the rising sign, because the rising sign shows your motivation and what you need in order to be more fulfilled. And so when you're asking the right questions, the big questions, who am I? What do I want? Why is what I have now or what I'm doing now not working for me, right? Those are like really good, juicy questions to ask. When you're asking those questions, starting with what do I want? Like, what are my desires? What will fill me up and fulfill me? Like, those are great places to start rather than what am I going to do? I think we tend to jump into doing first. What's the action I'm going to take? What, what's the career I want to have? Because I'm a business coach as well. So it's always we'll end up there, but we don't start there. We start with what do I want? And so I'll give an example, like looking at maybe someone with a Scorpio rising. I have so many Scorpio risings in my world. A lot of what they want in life deep down is intimacy and meaning. And so whatever their work is, if we're working on a business or career, like it needs to fulfill that. There needs to be a deep sense of intimacy between them and whoever they're working with, whether that's the team they're working with or clients or whatever. There needs to be a depth, right? Because Scorpio really prioritizes and enjoys and craves depth. And then also in their work, they can't just be doing something because it's a good idea or there's a gap in the market or I think I can make some money this way. That is going to burn them out because that's not what Scorpio rising wants. There needs to be a meaning to the work. And so once we unlock those pieces with the rising sign, then things start becoming clear. And it's like, oh, that's why I'm creating drama in this area of my life. Or, oh, that's why I'm unsatisfied with this thing that I'm supposed to be satisfied with. Right. So I don't know if that answers your question, but those are the places that I tend to start.
I love that. It's really beautiful. And it leads me to obviously like one going, well, how do I do it? And then kind of looking at something else, which Scorpio risings and Sag risings need, which is boundaries, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Healthy boundaries. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the reason that came up for me was so one of the things I focus on first. So I look at type to see how energy flows.
Yeah,
profile
definitely.
to see where your mind goes and what your body is doing, right? And similar reasons. But then for me, what human design calls the incarnation cross and what the gene keys is your activation sequence.
Yes.
For me, these are the four corners of your jigsaw puzzle or the jigsaw puzzle of your life. And without them, you can feel very untethered or like, there are so many things. There are so many things you could do.
Untethered.
So many things you could do. And so I need an anchor. And when I look at my work, in this arena, the first place I go is the four corners of your jigsaw. And it's like, let's put your earth in. Let's put your health in. Let's put what you're here to shine a light on. Let's put your purpose in. Right. Great. We've got that. And the tool that I created 11 years ago, the very first thing I ever made is called the value filter. And did the traditional NLP values elicitation process. And I was like, great, now what? What do you do with it? Like, so what? What are the implications and the applications of this tool? Everyone's walking around with some like Brené Brown shiny values. Look at me, this is what I value. But they're not doing anything with it. So I made the value filter, which has evolved. And it started off as 3D and became 5D and now it's 7D. And it's an internal compass that is your Merkaba, it is your chariot, and it drops you back into you and into your lived experience on a physical, tangible level of whether you are in your signature frequency or outside of it. Are you tethered to your soul star and your body and everything else, or are you letting your not self centers lead?
Ooh.
And so for me, it's like I really, really hear you. Like, what you have to start with? What do you want? What matters to you? What do you value in this life?
Yes.
And then it's like, and how do you know when you're not in that? Which is like I really want to give something to people because I can veer off in a direction, like tangent, right?
Oh yeah, MG here, totally.
Well, not only but not only that, this world that we are living in, with this Uranus into Gemini, right? Like all of this energy, right? there are not going to suddenly, also gate 56, there are not suddenly going to be less distractions in the world.
Oh, that's not happening. No. It's only going to get more busy.
You anoint you more and more and more.
Yeah.
And like the number one skill I think we need to be teaching our children right now is how to know what to trust and what to tune out.
Mm.
And how in any moment to connect back in with your signature frequency and your authority.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's so interesting. Thinking about, I feel like I want to ask you more about the 4 anchors, because in Gene Keys, I know a bit about Gene Keys, but I wouldn't say I'm an expert yet. But I've worked more with the Sun gates and the culture Gene Key and things like that, because I focus more on business. But I haven't worked a lot with the Earth related ones, so purpose. What do you find, like, what's the magic there that you really start to find when you work with like the Earth aspects? Is it helping people to, like you said, stay centered and grounded in their own values? Or how do you use
when a flower stops blooming, we don't blame the flower, we look at the earth and the nutrients that it is in. When your light feels dimmed, or you don't feel like you're meeting your full potential, which is what most people come to me for, right? Like, I've made money, or I've achieved things and I'm not satisfied, or I don't feel fulfilled, or my life feels meaningless, right? So cool, let's look at your earth. And your earth is where the nutrients are. Your earth is where, like, the more we expand your earth, your conscious earth, the more you can grow.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I need this, because I have just been through I'm just going to turn this into a podcast for me. Yeah, so I have just been through like a very intense kind of personal development period of reorganizing my business, reorganizing my life, becoming intentionally a single parent. And I feel like I'm at a total kind of phoenix moment, and have been over the past year, and really getting back to who I was like before I became a mom, but also so much more elevated. It's like getting back to who you were, but also like 2.0. Like, this is also like,
there's never any going back.
It's not going back, but it's getting back to my essence.
Recalibrating to the essence and your soul frequency, right? Like,
that's what it
vibration.
Is. And I feel that everything you're saying about like nutrients and grounding and like feeding yourself, and I'm like, yes, this is what I need more of,
because it's a cycle, right? And so Richard Rudd, give credit where credit is due. The pathways of the golden pathways. So the whole experience for him is the golden pathway, right? And then you start with the activation sequence. And I'm an alchemist, and there's a reason we do things in order. Because if we don't do things in order, you don't end up with bread. You end up with a brick, right? Things have to rise, and have to do some time. So the pathway between your sun and your earth is called the challenge. And it is a challenge because it's directly opposite, and it's going to be a challenge for your whole life. Yes. And when you find yourself in the shadow of either your sun or your conscious earth, that is a seed. And it's the seed that becomes the bloom, which becomes the fruit, which drops seeds, which cycles again, right? And so you're just growing new fruit over and over and over again. And you are in this moment where the fruits of your sun have dropped into the earth, and now you want to nourish those seeds.
Definitely. Oh, this is so interesting, because I'm looking at mine as you're speaking. And so my conscious earth is 3, right? That's right? And the shadow of that is chaos, but then the gift is innovation. Yes. Yeah, that feels exactly where yes.
And it's so beautiful, right? And so then from there, then we go up into what I think is your gate 56, your radiant.
Yes, radiant.
And so the pathway between these two, so the pathway between your earth, if you're playing along at home, and your unconscious sun, which is your radiant sphere, this pathway is called the breakthrough. And between what you unconsciously give others and what keeps you healthy and what aids your evolution, which is your earth, that's the breakthrough. So for you, like, that next bit is like you start to allow the chaos to become magic. You start to, I call 3 the logical child. And so you start to look at life like a child with awe. And where there's chaos, you see fairies and magic, and things start to...
That's how I feel. Yeah. I feel like I'm getting back to my magic. I keep saying that phrase. Like, I feel like I'm getting back to my magic. Yeah.
So then the breakthrough is when it comes up into being enriching, and you can enrich others with those stories, right? So you get new stories, not just stories, new legends, new myths, new fables that you're going to share, and you're rewriting them, right? And like rising from the ashes as we step into this place, and that's what happens as you go into the 56. Your radiance, your magnetism will pull in new people because you are in a place of full health, physically, spiritually, emotionally.
Yeah.
And
I feel that. I feel that so deeply. Oh, I love it. Oh, thank you so much for
this.
this.
What happens is that drops down into your purpose.
Yes, which is 60. We were talking about that a little bit.
Yeah. And so then you come into acceptance of what is, what has happened, where you find yourself now, and mutate into new limitations that create new creativity. And from that place, you then begin again, right? And you kind of go round, and it goes round and round and round.
Yes.
The pathway between your radiance, so your unconscious sun, and your unconscious earth, that one's called core stability. And
core stability. Okay.
And so for someone like you, it's in that place that you'll build a new program that will last you forever, and you'll add a new income stream, like something else will happen, and it drops in there. And then you come back up into the sun again, and you radiate that out, and you give it a life, and you share it with the world. And then at some point it stops being the thing, and then you drop back down into 3. And that's how that works.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Thank you for that. So illuminating.
And what happens when you embody your design is this, right? So your 5660 is my 5660, but in the unconscious. And the people who listen regularly or who know me know I constantly am calling in people who have similar, pretty much all the same keys as me, and or like from the programming partner. Because I am embodying my design. So there is nothing to do, only anything to be. And that my electromagnetic field does all the work, and then calls it in so that my 56 can tell a story, so that you can see yourself in a whole new way. And that's literally what I'm here to do, is to illustrate and to enrich your own perception of yourself so that your reality can change.
Powerful, powerful stuff. This is why I just want everyone to learn human design and gene keys and astrology. I'm like, please, like, it's the best investment you could possibly make to start learning this stuff, because it's giving a language to something that is really hard to explain, I think, about our, like, how do you explain who you are and how you interact with people and what you need and how you process? But human design, like the way you just described things, like, it's so profound. It's so elegant and articulate in the way that we can start to understand what's really going on with us.
For me, I would just add to that, this is why we need human readers, and why you should invest
100%.
in people who have lived that, who have fucked around and found out. Because if you go and ask AI, it'll give you an answer.
Often a wrong one. I've tested it
but you know what? Like, over time, that will change. Over time,
it'll
it
probably
may
get
very
a little
well
more
give you the
accurate.
right one. Absolutely. But it's not going to make it personal. It's not going to make it contextual. It's not going to call you the fuck out and say, yeah, I know. I see you and know. And like, that's the thing with all this Sag energy. I will tell you the truth. And the thing is, the truth will set you free, but it will piss you off first. But I'm just likable enough that you'll hang around. And when AI tells you something that you don't like, you're like, yeah, next. And you'll swipe, and you won't listen to it. You won't have it change you.
Yeah, there's no replacement for a human conversation. Like, there really just isn't, where you can look into someone's eyes and be seen and also see. Like, there's a computer can't replace that. It can try to simulate that, but it can't replace.
And I think that piece of energy, in the cosmic planning, in the old realm, it was about the physical, right? Like, as human beings, we were incarnating to experience and manage ourselves on the physical realm.
Yeah.
In this new paradigm, our work as human beings is to experience and manage ourselves on the energetic. And when you engage with AI, you're engaging with something that may very well become sentient, but it is synthetic sentience. And when you're engaging with a human being, and sometimes that can be content free, right? Like we don't have to storytell, we don't have to talk. I can work with people in the energetic realms. You and I, that's what I'm talking about, right? When you're embodying your design, we've got this electromagnetic field. My energy is doing a huge amount of this work
True. Oh yeah.
for me, right?
Yes.
And I'm never going to get that off a robot.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. Oh my gosh. Deep stuff. What are you excited about like in 2026? I know we were talking about like Gate 41 and opening up new visions and, you know, it being a 1 year. Like I'm excited about this, just culturally us exploring the beauty and the power of art, individuality, creativity, more risk taking in a positive way. Like these are the things I'm hoping will come back. Like let's get rid of homogenization. Let's be done with it. This is something I'm personally like nerding out about and excited about. I hope comes to pass. Like, what are you excited about for next year?
So interesting when you ask that question, where my body went, right? So my whole life has been in pursuit of the things you just described, right? Not homogenizing, finding our individual way, finding importance in art, being a walking work of art, knowing that your life is your art.
Yes.
The last 5 years particularly, but the last 9 have battered me personally. And Pluto's been on my earth in gate 60. It's been evolving me and challenging me for a really long time.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. Same.
And
That the last 5 years exactly, actually, since 2019. Yeah.
So I have, you know, I'm not making it up. I've had not that I ever thought I was, but I've had such a hard time. Like I'm so tired. Like I'm so tired. And it's such a weird thing to admit as a manager and as a 5-line, as a, you know, as a creative.
Because we have so much creative energy, right? And we have so much to do and to give, but then we have to, we have to nourish ourselves.
For sure. And I feel as though, and also Neptune in Pisces, with Neptune on my ascendant, has also been really hard work, like really hard work. And so this shift into, like, part of me when I was first like, okay, Neptune in Aries, and like, you know, all of these shifts that I can see going on, I'm like, oh, I'm scared for the world, right? Like I am scared. Part of me is very scared for the world. And the potential for the darkness and the negativity and the places this could go feels very real.
Agreed. Yeah.
And then I remember that everything's moving into my own. And that fire is not dangerous. It burns off what we don't need. It cooks. It's the heart of our home. It feeds us. It nourishes us. And I'm like, okay. It's a little bit like when I am in Bali or in Spain and I'm packing for England and I'm like, I can't wear all those jumpers. Can't even remember what it's like to wear a jumper. And it's like, oh, the idea of wearing a jumper feels like sweaty and uncomfortable and painful. And then I get there and I'm like, oh, it's so cozy. This is so lovely. And I feel like I'm so immersed in water still right now.
But we've had a lot of water going on in the last few years.
And the idea of being in front of a fire wet is like not fun, right? Like it feels like it's going to be all steamy and, you know, when it like burns off and you're like, this is really heavy and uncomfortable. But the truth is I love being really warm. Like I love a sauna. I'm like, and so I don't know, but I am excited for change and the possibility that holds for me personally, but also for all of us. And that, you know, what happens when we heat things up is exciting. You know, there are some really great things that are about to get cooked.
Yeah,
that is exciting.
That's the quote for like the cover of the podcast. There's a lot of really great things that are about to get cooked. I completely agree with you. I'm ready. It's like if people are fed up with something or fed up with the way that things are, the way that things are going, then the answer is change. The answer is not going back, right? I think there's a lot of right now, very interestingly in culture and pop culture, there's a lot of nostalgia. And what I don't want to happen is for the nostalgia for a simpler past. I'm using bunny ears because it wasn't, I don't think it was simpler. I think we just hid a lot of things and like
I really love
suppressed a
this
lot
as
of
a way to kind of
important
pause,
conversation.
right? Like
Yeah.
it's so important because our generation, I speak to predominantly Gen X and millennials, right?
Okay. Yeah.
They are known as, in marketing terms, the nostalgia generation, because if you bring anything back from the past, we're like, oh my God.
Yeah, we love it. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
bring back a John Candy movie where we're
Sure.
head to heels, right? Like we are just so happy.
Yeah, for me it's Sinbad. I'm like, yes. Oh my God.
And whenever it's like, oh, there was color, oh, there was good music, oh, there was
Yeah.
right, and we get very,
Yeah.
very excited. There was
We
also
do.
massive sexism, racism, homophobia.
Yes. Let's not forget.
And so, right, like I am all for bringing back the things that were of value.
Yes.
Cared about. It's like, remember that shit and bring it back for sure.
Yes.
But bring it back without trampling on other people. Can we just be done with trampling on each other to get somewhere? There is enough for everyone.
100%. That's it. It's like, yeah, what I don't want to happen is for this kind of weird, kind of conservative tinge to nostalgia to take us back to, a time when people, you're right, when the people's rights were being trampled, women have to stay in the kitchen. Like, we're not going back to any of that. And I think that, but in order to create the new normal or the new world, things have to change and things have to get uncomfortable, and we have to have really genuine, rich conversation. And so, yeah, I think we're just in that gate of contraction right now. We're in that, like, we don't know what the ideal looks like yet. Like, I think people are trying to imagine it. We don't know what it's going to be, what it's going to look like, but we have to be willing to change.
And more than that, and this is where the Uranus and Gemini thing excites me. There are parts of it that terrify me, but the bit that
that's the one that scares me the most, actually. It's Uranus and Gemini.
Like, can we have teleporting now? But in all seriousness, we have to be available for multiple realities to exist at once. And what I see is this, like, we are done with this is the right way to eat. This is the right way to eat. This is the right way to... No,
please, can we be done with all that?
A million fingerprints, a million nervous systems, a million ecosystems.
Yeah.
What this is the time for is you getting intimate and personal with your own values, with your operating system, with your the ecosystem of your body, and what inheritance and legacy there is, plus what you're going to add into the mix. There is no right one way. There is no binary is done. Binary is done and gone.
We got to be done with that. Yeah.
That does not mean that we can't pick trad wife life if we want.
Yeah, sure.
But that's freedom. It wasn't last time.
Yeah, exactly. Having the choice and being empowered and not needing everyone else to live life exactly the same way that you do, is so important. And I am optimistic about what we can achieve in the next couple of years. Let's see. Because we also are starting 2026 with Lilith in Sagittarius. So we talked a little bit about this.
I'm like, oh yes, we'll finish this and then we'll wrap up because I never did hear. Go on.
Yes. So I'll just mention this for everyone. So Lilith is moving into Sagittarius December 19th, roughly. She moves around and bounces around quite a bit, so it's hard to nail down exactly the date, but it's around December 19th. And we'll be there for 9 months until September 1st of 2026. And so it's always when Lilith moves, I feel like you really feel it and we really see it in the cultural zeitgeist. Like in 2025, Lilith was in Scorpio for most of the year. I feel like we were really feeling that. We're seeing the kind of exposing of secrets, power imbalances, power misuse, like a lot of things kind of coming to light. With Lilith and Sagittarius, this is exactly as you have tattooed on your hands, wild and true. And it's just about this, like, I just feel like this is this wild feminine energy, which is just ready to be brutally honest about things and ready to really protect and defend freedom. I think freedom is always a key value for me of Sagittarius. Freedom and truth. That's it. And so I'm excited to see what that becomes, what is disrupted that needs to be disrupted, in 2026. But I think all of us need to up our appetite for risk and taking more leaps.
Unless, of course, you're me and you've lived your entire life like that. And it feels like a return. And now you're like, okay, I'm going to just have a little rest while everyone else does what I've been doing for 45 years.
Yeah. Yeah. If you already have a big risk appetite, it's just, you're going to be like, oh, okay, more of the same. I know I've got this. Like, I'm born for this.
People feel like when everyone else is like, I'm going to take risks, I'm going to live like this, I'm going to be in pursuit of my truth, I'm like, I would like a safe life now.
You're like, wait.
Contrary.
You're like, wait a minute, where's my fixed?
And they say that when you're born into chaos, it feels like peace. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm going to have the most peaceful year ever.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, I got this. Like, I'm born for this. I know about this. Like, I think it's true.
My IC's in Aries, and so I'm like, I do know about this, right? Like, this was what I was born in.
Exactly, you really know about this. Oh my God.
Yeah, this has been so fun.
Yes,
like, I'm going to drop all of your links in the show notes so people can find them. Where is the best place for people to come and hang out, find out more?
Absolutely. We're really on all platforms. I would encourage people to check out my Substack. That's really where I'm putting a lot of my work. My podcast is published there, and also on all podcast pro platforms, and then also TikTok. Those are kind of two great places. You can message me on Instagram. We can chat. I'm easy to reach. So please do. Yeah.
Thank you, my love. This has been such an honor, and I feel like there will be many more conversations between us this year.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to Becoming Full of Yourself. If you found a resonance here, subscribe, share it with someone who's ready to reclaim their fullness, and leave a review to help others find this work. For more resources, rituals, real talk on living a fully fulfilled life, head to eboniallard.com. Until next time, be bold, be brave, be full of yourself.